Okay, cool.
Hello and welcome to Texas Motor Speedway, here tonight for the running of the Texas 150 at Texas Motor Speedway. As always, welcome to 10-4 Broadcasting here tonight. Right now the guys are practicing. Alan, welcome.
Appreciate it, Tim. Good to be here. It's been a busy week, but it should be in for a fun one here today.
Yeah, the season is winding down. As you did notice, we just played the video for Season 3 coming in May, and before things really get started, because big wreck on the front stretch there to end practice. But let's take a look at points. So as of right now, we're heading into race 14 tonight, and Brian McCann has won almost half of them. The McCann brothers themselves have won over half, but Brian McCann has a less than 100-point lead over his brother Kevin. Then we got Neil Quick in third, who's still searching for that first win of the season. Chris Wally, who was your Daytona winner, sitting in fourth. Brandon Mefford in fifth. Mike Harper in sixth. Chris Mefford with 3 wins sitting in seventh. Tim Schofield in eighth. David Trumbley in ninth. And Cook Quick in 10th. A lot of the same last names, all in the top 10.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that's crazy, it does look like domination because that's pretty much what it's been so far. But honestly, it hasn't been as much as I thought. We saw the first couple of races. Chris Wally came up with the huge Daytona 500 win. But after that, it was pretty much the Brian McCann show, and Kevin McCann would be in position to win several times and just would have some type of issue that would just cost him, and it was just so unfortunate for him. But you know what? Some other drivers have come into play as of late, and so this championship is not necessarily over. Some guys are getting hot right now. We're constantly seeing them near the front. I think that the McCanns could be challenged in the next couple of weeks.
And I really like to see that, especially as we wrap up this season and head into during the off season for these guys. They're going to have 2 mini series that guys can jump in on, and that's going to be interesting in itself because the top 15 guys from this season move on to season 3 in May, and then those 2 mini seasons, the top 5 from each season moves on, or actually gets invited to season 3 of the IROC series. So it will be interesting to see how that will play out. And as of right now, looks like Kevin McCann is on the pole at the moment with Neil Quick right behind him. Well, now Vincent Short right behind him. He just ran a nice fast lap of a 49.43. Kevin McCann ran a 29. Did I say 49? I'm going to say
Yes,
29.
you did.
I was like 29.43 for Vincent Short, and he's calling it a day there. Kevin McCann is on the pole with a 29.32. As we see who is out there right now. Neil Quick just ran a 29.38, just barely missing that pole position. And Brandon Mefford just rounded up his time, running 29.40. These times are really close to each other. See if I can't see.
Yeah, and really, the battle here today is not going to be for that hot lap. It's going to be fuel saving as well as saving tires. Whoever can do that is going to have a huge advantage. The McCanns are certainly very, very efficient at saving their stuff. And so I think they definitely have a big advantage in this race, just like they have an advantage most races based on how fast they are. But, this is not all about hot laps, that's for sure. It's definitely about managing your car, keeping the tires from sliding in the turns, especially in turns 1 and 2. That is where you're going to make or break your race. Turns 3 and 4 are not bad. You can pretty much stay open throttle for the most part. But 1 and 2, especially coming off of 2, is where your race can be ruined. It ruined my race the last time I was here. So that can certainly be the case.
Turn 4 has always been an issue for me because I tend to run somewhat of a higher line coming out of turn 3. And you just can slide the wrong way and smack the side of the wall. So, and Quick gets real loose, gets down on the apron. Oh, looks like he is going to smack that outside wall there. Turn 4. Looks like Cook ran a 29.60. Currently has him in 7th position. Let's see how much time we have left on practice. About 30 seconds here. David Trumbley out on the track right now. Ran a 30.48 his first time around. Let's see if he can't improve that. Right now sitting in 19th position. Coming through turn 4, coming down that front stretch. And it looks like he's going to run a... He hasn't updated for me yet. Oh, maybe he ran the same lap time because it still says 30.48.
I think he might have been doing an extra practice lap or something.
I see. Okay. Let's see. So it looks like tonight we will be doing 100 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway under the lights. I don't believe I've actually raced here at night, to be honest. So as these guys get gridded up, Alan, again, what do you believe is going to be the key components for tonight's race here at Texas Motor Speedway?
Just talked about it, Tim.
Yeah, I know.
It's all good. But yeah, like I said, just saving your tires is definitely going to be a big part of it. Turns 1 and 2 it's such a wide turn, and it makes you want to get back on throttle faster than you actually should. When you do that, you can really slide your tires around, especially if you exit turn 2 low. That's where you can really hurt your tires. You're going to see some guys try to do that. It can give you a good run off of onto the backstretch and be able to get inside of somebody, but it hurts your tires in the long run. You're going to see most of these guys kind of come off of 2 as high as they can. That's what keeps your tires from sliding. And so, saving fuel plus the tires, that is going to be the key to this race.
Well, I'm interested to see what happens. You missed last night's race over at we do a league on Wednesday nights at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it came down to, I believe they said after they crossed the start-finish line, guys had about 0.2 or 3 left of fuel. Like, I'm telling you, I didn't think people were going to make it to the end of that race. And we could very well see that here again tonight. But every week we've had some great racing from these guys, so I expect it to be once again top notch. And as these guys get ready to grid, we will take you through the grid. So it looks like starting off in first is Kevin McCann driving that number 133. Neil Quick starting in second in that number 2. Brian McCann in the number 1 starting third. And to the outside of him is Brandon Mefford in that 83. Vincent Short starting off 5th in that number 15, he has really showed up as of late. He's been up there fighting near the front of the pack, and I expect the same from him tonight. Jesse King, it looks like we got Nick S. is a fan of his in the chat, starting off in 6th in that number 55. Colt Cecil in that number 63, starting 7th. Cook Quick starting 8th in that number 54. Paul Buzzle starting in 9th in that number 9. Chris Wally starting 10th in that number 5. Kyle Pettigraph starting in 11th. Matthew Kopp starting in 12th. 13th is Stoney Binfield. Brian Reck starting in 14th. Chris Medford in 15th. Mike Harper in 16th. 17th is Kyle Stevens and Tim Schofield starting 18th. 19th is David Trumbley. And 20th is John Stapleton, with Dakota Clark starting in 21st, Evan Faust in 22nd. And we are about to go green. I had to get through those really fast, Alan.
Just in time.
And Kevin McCann gets a great start here. Jumps out to a pretty decent lead right away. As we try to get a bigger look here at these drivers. Get a bet. Oh, we got a little bit of action going on back here in the back of the pack. 3 wide. 4 wide almost. Here between Paul Buzzle and Vincent Short. We were just talking about them on the grid. And that's something else, Alan, that's really going to have to be watched. Is these guys are going to have to make sure they don't get near that apron, because if you just kind of clip that apron, you're going to go around and probably collect some guys with you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, typically when you spin out here, the banking's high enough to where you do kind of rise up the track, and so there's no real place where you're truly safe. And so, yeah, you definitely, especially in the turns, you want to kind of stay low. And so, because when a car does spin, it tends to rise up. But yeah, and especially on the backstretch, you're really not safe anywhere, because a car can go either way. And so you just never truly know.
And right now we're looking at the battle for 7th between Vincent Short. I'm sorry, not Vincent Short. Kyle Pettigraph and Paul Buzzle right now for 7th. And they got just behind them, it looks like they have Cook Quick and Chris Medford, who already, Chris Medford has gained 4 positions since the drop of the green flag, and he's looks like he's working on Cook Quick right now, going to the inside of him.
It's so difficult saying Cook Quick, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. It's a tongue twister. But Medford gets around him and now sets his eyes or his sights on Kyle Pettigraph. And you're going to see.
I was going to say, I'm honestly impressed so far. Nice, clean start for these guys. Most of them single file. The starts of a race like this, where you do see a lot of cars kind of spinning out during practice, it's just always a wild card. You just never know what's truly going to happen, but a good, clean start for these guys.
I really feel like these guys, this group of guys, in practice we'll see one thing, but when it comes down to race time, these guys pretty much, they deliver every week.
Yeah. I mean, and even the races that have had a lot of cautions, they've been fun. They've been exciting.
Right.
And so these guys know, when enough is enough, when a lot of cautions is out of the ordinary. There's some leagues where it's just caution after caution every single week. And so, it's good to see some clean racing for these guys. Last week was entirely green, not a single caution. So, these guys have definitely done a nice job, especially as of late.
Unbelievable for Talladega.
Oh,
Just want to throw that out there. Usually we expect a big one. And want to showcase our new overlays for you guys. You'll see a lot. We'll be using the battle box, as they call it, throughout the night, so you can see the different battles between people. We'll jump up to, looks like actually we have a lead change. Brian McCann went around his brother Kevin McCann. We'll go back and take a look at that. I think it might have happened quite a bit ago and I didn't pay attention. I don't see it on my list. Oh, there it is. Brian McCann passes Kevin McCann. Here we go. At the start-finish line, Brian catches his brother Kevin, and Kevin just kind of lets him go on by. He doesn't want to challenge him yet. You know, it's the beginning of the race. And now it looks like Kevin McCann is actually gaining back on him since we came back to watch this battle. You know, it almost reminds me of watching Terry Labonte and Bobby Labonte racing each other week in and week out when they were racing in the 90s and early 2000s.
Well, you remember when Kurt Busch got wrecked by Kyle Busch that one time? I believe it was Richmond.
Yes.
And Kurt. Oh, we've got a car up in the wall. I think it's one of the quicks. It is. So yep, Cook Quick up in the wall.
Cook Quick. Let's go back here. Looks like he's gathered himself back up. Looks like he's not even going to try. Let's go see if we can't see where it may have started. Yeah, it looks like we're right here with Cook Quick, and him and Pettigraph get really close to each other right there. Everything's fine. Oh, he tags that wall out of 4. Oh, and he can't get off of the wall. And he tries to come back down, and oh, right in front of Wally.
And Quick not happy. He is booked it. He is out of the session, and so he is the first car out tonight, unfortunately.
Oof. I want to go back, and we're going to ride on board with Wally for this, because he is going to have substantial damage. You see Quick up there in the wall right now, staying up high, and then Wally really almost had nowhere to go. I mean, he really didn't have anywhere to go. Without getting run over himself.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think that someone's gonna, you know, and nothing that Cook Quick did he could really help. You know,
no.
That wall really is like a magnet. When you're in it, it's very hard to get off of it. It's like there's a fine line between having too much speed going, sticking to the wall, and then as soon as you get down to a certain speed, it just pulls right off. It's like the magnet just lets go. And unfortunately, that's what you saw right there. And just like you said, nowhere for Chris Wally to
go. We're riding on board right now with John Stapleton in that number 77. Can hear him letting off quite a bit. And I can't tell if Wally is possibly... It looked like we were riding on board with him. He was having... I looked like I seen some
got a battle
smoke.
for the lead, by the way.
Oh, battle for the lead. Let's jump up there real quick.
Don't want to make you miss another one.
No, yeah. Thank you. Not used to guys up here back and forth at each other. Usually there's lots of battles going on through the rest of the field. And we're already on lap 16, guys. This race is going fast.
And fuel window is, we've been told, is from 24 to 28 laps. So first green flag pit stop's not too far away.
Yeah, and Alan, that is going to be... I'm surprised that wasn't in your challenges of the race, because that right there, getting down onto pit road at this track...
Well, I
is
said fuel is a big part. That's a
well,
part of fuel.
okay. Yeah, you're right. I dislike this pit entrance more than Atlanta's, and Atlanta's sometimes can be treacherous. This one, I feel like the transition from the track to the apron is much more harsh. But it just could be the way I drive.
Let's go with that.
And these two really not cutting either one slack. And Kevin knows that he has got to beat his brother week in and week out if he's going to even remotely come close. And Brian's going to need to have a bad week in order for Kevin to make up some ground. Because tonight there are 22 drivers in this field. So that's a big portion of points that he could gain if something crazy were to happen to his brother Brian. And we're going to go check in on Chris Mefford, our biggest mover of the race so far. 9 positions since the drop of the green flag. Right now he is sitting in 6th position. And this is the guy who has, he started the season late, but has come in really, really strong and has kind of rattled the McCann brothers' cages for wins. He's got 3 wins on the season. Who knows where he'd be in points if he was here for the entire season.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what we were saying. You know, the McCanns absolutely dominated the first half of the season, but lately they've gotten a lot more competition. We're seeing several other guys consistently up there towards the front, putting up a challenge for them. And so it's definitely good to see.
And as Alan said earlier, we have approached lap 21. People will start. Looks like, oh, Colt Cecil already taking his pit stop right now on lap 21. We did say this would happen in the 20s. Just not sure it would have been this early, lap 24 to 28. But maybe he's short pitting and thinks that something may happen under green.
You know, and you were talking about the pit entrance. Another thing to keep in mind is making sure that you stay out of the other driver's way when you're coming down to pit road. And it's easier said than done. That is something that happened to me. Somebody was right in front of me. They were pitting, but they were at the top of the track coming off of 4. And so there really is a fine art to staying out of everybody's way when getting ready to come down pit road. And here at Texas, where, you know, it's typically a pretty tight turn 4, that is not easy by any means.
Definitely not. And you can see these two are really going at it here. Brian has gotten that lead down to less than like tenths of seconds. Now he's going to the inside of Kevin here, going into turn 3 and 4, and Kevin's going to let him go right on by. And it seems like they keep playing this little game of cat and mouse. And we're going to go take a look at now our other 2 drivers who really are some of the biggest movers of the race. And that's Kyle Steffens. 9 positions he has gained since the drop of the green flag. And just behind him, Tim Schofield, who has also gained 9 positions since the drop of that green flag. And you can see under this the battle box, the green up arrow also shows us the amount of positions they have either gained or lost since the drop of the green flag. So both of these guys having a fantastic start here at Texas.
And while you were talking, Paul Buzzell went ahead and made his green flag pit stop. So that's at least 2 cars that we know of who have made green flag pit stops. And I do believe that's all so far. Colt Cecil, Paul Buzzell, and, well, I guess you could say Cook Quick, but he's out of the race, so I don't think that one will matter. But I'm a little surprised to see them coming in so early, because I thought that a lot more would be coming in with the next, within the next lap or 2, but that has not been the case. So they're gonna, I think they're trying to hope for a caution pretty quickly after the after the green flag pit stops. But we'll have to wait and see.
I'm sorry, I went to Jesse King because I saw he was dropping on leaderboard, but it was because he had lost connection, not because something had happened. But we are on lap 27, so any moment, really, we're going to start seeing these leaders file in. I kind of think they were hoping that somebody, a caution would happen or something of that nature. It looks like Brian is slowing up to make that pit stop right now. As we were just talking about that, I'm not sure he got slowed up, nor do I know if Kevin did. That was really close. And Neil Quick has stayed out on the track. He is now your leader. He's pushing the envelope on that fuel mileage for that first pit stop. Brandon Mefford stayed out. Chris Mefford. Jesse King stayed out. Vincent Short stayed out. So we'll see what happens. Brian McCann is off pit road, and now Kevin is down and away. And now the Mefford crew has slowed up to come into pit road along with Neil Quick. Jesse King has still out there. He is now your leader. These guys get single file as they come down pit road. It looks like they pretty much almost pushed it to lap 30. So come back out to the leader, who is Jesse King right now. Has a 7-second lead over Mike Harper. Jesse King now slowing up to come down pit road. And Dakota Clark seems to be having some problems. He was in the wall there earlier, we saw, when we were just going around the track. So Dakota Clark seems to be having some issues. And now Jesse King's in, Mike Harper, Kyle Pettigraff. Trumbley is still out there. He is going to be your new leader.
Yeah, he's the only one who has not already been down pit road or currently on pit road. So very interesting to see if he will be able to finish this lap.
We'll ride on board. We'll see if we can hear any changes in the fuel. Oh, sounds like he's slowing up to bring it on in.
Yep.
And you see how difficult that is. You can hear his engine skipping because he's definitely out of fuel. As he's and now as we've cycled through, Brian McCann is your leader again. Went into pits with his brother right on his tail, but now Brian has opened that gap between those two about 2.5 seconds. Almost 3 seconds over his brother, and now Chris Wally is going to go a lap down. He probably was on pit road. I want to actually look at his pit road time. He was on pit road for 8.3 seconds. That can't be right. No, I don't think that's right. So we're going to ignore that. We don't know how long he was on pits, but I imagine he probably had some damage he had to take care of while he was on pit road due to that incident with Cook Quick. So right now,
it's looking like a lot of these guys may have taken fuel only.
That's what I was looking at, because quite a few guys, they got a lot of 8-second pit stops.
Yeah,
longest pit stop I see was a 15.7, and that was by Paul Buzzle in that number 9. But the rest of these guys, I see 7-second pit stop. Who had the 7-second pit stop? Colt Cecil had a 7.67 second pit stop. So maybe tire wear isn't as bad as we think, or these guys want to save those tires.
Yeah, exactly.
For the rest of the race. So that will be interesting to see how that plays out. Because right now, Kevin McCann is not gaining anything on his brother. He's actually losing time.
Yeah, the one who does appear to be making up some time, well, I was going to say Vincent Short, but he is currently 16 and a half seconds back, so he has got a lot of catching up to do if he's going to get back up there.
And our biggest mover of the race, Chris Mefford, 11 positions since the green flag has dropped. He's about 11, almost 12 seconds back from the leader right now. But while this action is going on, we're going to take a quick break because, of course, we have some more great stuff for you guys about the upcoming Season 3 for the IROC Series. And we want to give a huge shout out to the new title sponsor, Spartan Logistics Management LLC. Really fantastic of them to come on board for Season 3. They're going to use the trucks, and I think that's going to be really exciting, Alan, because they're using the Grand National cars right now in this series, the IROC cars. But the paint schemes that I have seen that they have made for the trucks, I'm telling you, the truck series should be an IROC series.
Yeah, it'll certainly be fun. I mean, trucks, you know, it's a totally different type of car. They behave different. And so, yeah, definitely going to be exciting.
And I also want to point that I've heard some things about the scheduling, and there's going to be some fun track. They're going to be doing a couple of dirt tracks in the trucks. So, like you said, a totally different monster there, and the fact that they're going to take them to road courses, oval, short tracks, and dirt tracks. I mean, I've not even touched dirt in iRacing, so I don't even know how it feels.
It's fun. It's not easy by any means, though. It's all about those tires gaining grip on the track to, you know, go to the come out of to come out of the turn to go on to the straightaways. But man, it's a very, I mean, your cars are obviously, you know, slipping and sliding all over the place. It's just all about keeping it under control, all about being able to go into the turns fast and yet able to, you know, re-grip the track with your tires. It's a lot of fun, but it can also be very frustrating.
Yeah, I can imagine. But looks like here Brian Reek does not want to give up. He wants his lap back. He's coming back for it. He did go a lap down, but he's fighting back against Brian McCann because he wants to stay on that lead lap. As we're very close to halfway point in this race, Alan. Lap 43 of 100 already. Pretty soon we're going to be talking about pit stops again.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying that at the very start, you know, 20, 25, 28 laps doesn't seem like very much, and man, it goes by fast.
I mean, right now they're running, leaders are running 29-second lap times. Oh, I'm sorry, that was their best lap time. They're running about 31-second laps, 30-second laps, somewhere around there. So every 30 seconds, these guys are coming around back to that start-finish line and just tacking off another one. And you know what I'm noticing? I believe you are correct, because looking at Brian, he had a 16-second pit stop compared to the leader who had an 8. So Brian, those newer tires are showing their power right now, because Brian couldn't even keep up with that lap down traffic. let's go check on the rest of the field. Kevin McCann back in second place. He is about 3.5 seconds off of the leader. See if I can't bring up that battle box. Oh, because he's between. I see. So it's not going to show me because he's. Oh, no, here we go. I think I fixed it. Maybe? Oh, Colt Cecil back in pit road. We just talked about that. We just discussed pits happening again. And Colt Cecil, who was the first one last time down pit road, is once again the first one down pit road this time as well. But back on the track, Neil Quick sitting in third position right now. And your biggest gainer, of course, Chris Mefford sitting in fourth position. He has gained about 4 seconds since they came back out from those last pit stops. So
yeah, I mean,
he is really coming.
The problem, though, is that he's going to run out of time because these guys are going to have to come back down for more fuel and tires before too long. So, you do make up that time by getting the new tires, but does it pay off in the long run? And that's what you kind of have to decide.
And just behind him, Vincent Short right there, really staying with him. I told you Vincent Short has, as of late, been a force, and the chrome on these are beautiful. Such a great job that Wally has done with these paint jobs for this IROC series. Fantastic job. And somebody was, David Schofield, talking about Tim Schofield just cracked the top 10, now up into 8th. And now Tim Schofield is also one of our biggest movers right now. He has gained 10 positions since the start of this race. He's actually working on Jesse King right now, who also has some fans in the chat. So we got a lot of people in the chat talking about their different drivers that they want to win tonight. And Mike Harper, that's somebody we don't talk about a lot. He is, since the drop of the green flag, 10 positions he has gained, and he is sitting in 6th currently. So he has been able to rally all the way from 16th position up to 6th under completely green flag conditions. And go back up to the front, and Brian McCann still just chugging along. Lap 51 of 100. We've officially cracked the halfway point. And Kevin McCann is slowly reeling him in. He got him down to about a 3.3 second interval. But a lot of guys are going to start. It looks like Paul Buzzle has just came down pit road. He was the second guy last time. Jordan Sullivan says, let's go 14 and 77. Oh, thank you for the kind words about our commentating. We try to, make it interesting for you guys and fun at home. Let's go check in on that number 14, Kyle Pettigraph, sitting in 13th position.
Here we go, Brian McCann on the pit road.
Oh, Brian McCann just dove down. And Kevin McCann stayed out. That's interesting. I didn't expect that because they pretty much have been on the same accordion, per se. We're going to stay here with him because he has got to get tires this time. He has to. Yep, and he does get tires. David, usually these guys are pretty clean. We usually don't get a lot of cautions. So this is pretty typical of what you'll see out of these guys in these league races. Last week we were at Talladega. Everybody expects the big one, and they didn't have a single caution there. I'm not even sure did we have any wrecks at Talladega? Now that I think about it.
We had one at the very end. It was basically one
That's
car
right.
making contact with the other, and there was a spin, but just wasn't enough to bring out the caution. It was with, I believe, just 2 or 3 laps left.
Yeah. So, but David Schofield, these guys, week in and week out, come out here, put on a show, and really race each other better than any other league that I've ever broadcast for. Cautions are a rarity, I'll tell you that.
And Kevin McCann did just announce that he is coming into pit this lap.
All right, so we will see him make that transition, gets out of the way of the other guys, gets it slowed down, woed up just before he gets there. Do you know what pit road speed is here?
I believe I want to say 40. It's got to be either 45 or 50.
I think it's 45. Yeah, that sounds about right. And when you're traveling at these speeds, I mean, it seems like an eternity coming down pit road.
And it is 45. Just saw Kevin McCann, his current speed going down pit road was 45.
Oh, yeah, I guess I should have looked at that, shouldn't I? And right now, Vincent Short is your new leader. Taking that number 15 around the track.
And Tim Schofield coming into pit this lap.
Nice transition down onto that apron to bring it in. Does a great job. I mean, I'm telling you, these guys, if it was me, I'd be struggling getting in these pits. I'm telling you. Practice makes perfect, though. Schofield is in. Looks like he is not getting tires. No tires for Schofield. Or did he get tires and I couldn't tell?
Yeah, not sure. I'll tell you what, there was a close call between David Trumbley and Paul Buzzell right in front of them. They almost collided. Luckily, were able to stay off each other's bumpers, but a very close call there that could have brought out the first caution.
We'll watch these guys. They have not gone to pit road yet. And Brian McCann just passed David Trumbley on the track. So now Trumbley is going to risk going a lap down, or multiple lap downs possibly. These two are really racing each other really hard. And as more guys come down pit road, Stoney Benfield down pit road, as well as Dakota Clark. And Jesse King is your leader right now. Has an 11-second lead over Brian McCann. Right now in the pits is Dakota Clark, John Stapleton, and Stoney Benfield. Lap 60 of 100 here tonight. And now Trumbley and Pettigraph making their way down pit road. And Jesse King now making his way down pit road. So that, I believe, was the last of the people who needed to go in. And now Brian McCann passes Jesse King since he is on pit road. And it looks like he has gained even more time over Kevin McCann. About double what he had before he went in. So it looks like this time through Vincent Short, Mike Harper, and Tim Schofield did not take tires. Neither did Paul Buzzell. Everyone else took tires. Those guys did not. They opted for fuel only, it looks like. And now Jesse King goes a lap down due to how long he stayed out and then decided to go to the pits. And now, as of right now, as they run, only 7 cars are on the lead lap. Mike Harper is the last car on the lead lap, and he is 28 seconds behind the leader. So You can see right there in that black car just behind him is Brian McCann. So Brian McCann is making that ground to put him a lap down, and that would leave only 6 drivers on the lead lap.
I don't know, Tim. I think I'm starting to see a little debris coming out of turn 2. What do you think?
I think there's some raindrops. And it's starting to rain in Texas. I mean, the Cup race this year was postponed for like 5 days for a drizzle.
That was quite a journey. Yeah, that was a crazy weekend. It wasn't that it rained hard; it was just that mist that just refused to go away.
And it was just over the track, which was just mind-boggling because everybody else in the city was like, "Oh, everything's fine. I don't understand what's going on at the track." But I mean, crazy stuff happened. I mean, ooh, that was close call there. Brian came down and right in front of Paul. That could have been nasty. But like this morning here in Florida, it was 28 degrees when I woke up and ice on the windshields. So.
Oh, don't get Tim started on weather reports.
That's it. I'll take y'all down to the beach and give you a hurricane report. That's what.
So were you an actual weatherman?
No.
Okay, so
it's just a huge passion.
Okay, gotcha.
It's funny though, because people.
You could have fooled me on Facebook over the
years. Listen. People all the time think I'm a real one. Okay. And now they think I'm a real broadcaster too. I mean, this is more real than my weather report, so I guess you can say,
Yeah.
And now we only have 6 drivers. Oh, take
Vincent
that.
Short up
Yeah,
in the wall.
I was just about to go. Oh, and it's fixed. That's. He had damage, and it's good. So I was about to say that we only have 5 drivers on the lead lap, but now I believe we only have. Yeah, we only have 5 now. Colt Cecil is going to be the next victim if Brian McCann catches him before anything happens, which the way things are going, I expect nothing less. You see him there on the backstretch, just in the corner of your screen.
I tell you what, these cars are starting to get tight coming off of 2. We've seen several close calls into the wall, so things could be picking up right here. We've definitely seen some close calls.
And really want to take this time to really thank our sponsors that make this happen. Want to give a huge shout out to Loud Pedal Gaming. He has a fantastic gaming channel that you guys should watch. Huge shout out to Hydrotech PC and R&R Racewear. Huge shout out to them. All of this is just brought on by them. They bring this to you guys week in and week out, and they do a fantastic job to make sure that you guys get to see a great race. And we can't thank them enough for coming on board with us and believing in us to bring you guys all of this action. And it looks like Colt Cecil, while I was rambling on about sponsors, went a lap down. So we now have 4 drivers that are left on the lead lap. Now the distance between him, between first and fourth, is actually much different. So Brian's really going to have to drive the wheels off that thing because Chris Medford is on the front stretch while he's on the back stretch. So he's about a half a lap to go before he will catch Chris Medford in that number 46. I think we should start keeping track of our longest green flag runs at races, Alan.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Oh, I said I think we should start keeping track of our longest green flag runs at racetracks.
Yeah. I mean, this is 2 races in a row. Haven't had a single caution thus far. I mean, not too late. I was about to say,
don't jinx it yet.
I think even the drivers would appreciate a caution right now, but Just more green flag racing is good to see. I mean, it's rare to come by for the drivers, for those watching, for us. And so, it's not always the most exciting, but hey, enjoy it while you can.
Oh yeah, and I'm going to tell you, next week, all of us that are iRacing members, we get to partake in some great events that iRacing throws on. We actually, a couple weeks ago, Alan drove in the 24 hours of Daytona, and when you have these long green flag stops or green flag runs, it's really you gotta keep yourself focused, and more so in what you do in these road course races that are 24 hours, 12 hours.
Yeah,
I mean,
and no
no
cautions
cautions
for those either. Just
right.
local cautions in your the area where an incident happens, but no full course cautions. It's very difficult. Nürburgring 24 is, I mean, it gets to the point to where you're just in a trance when you're behind the wheel because of all the turns. Your mind just, you have to stay sharp, and it is not easy by any means. But yeah, I mean, when you're talking green flag runs, especially at the super speedways, it's very, very difficult just having to constantly worry about those around you. You're nursing the car. It's very physically and mentally draining. You might think, that because this is a video game, oh, it's not, oh, there's not a lot of physicality involved. That could not be further from the truth. There
Yep.
absolutely is. And yeah, you really have to stay on top of your car, stay on top of the track, and it is not an easy task.
And that's you'll be racing and your hands will start sweating. And next week we get to partake in the Daytona 500, and it's the track looks wide in person, but in these simulators and video games, it is not as wide as they make it.
Yeah, Vincent Short coming down pit road, but yeah, I remember the first Daytona 500 I ever did. I was involved in an incident at some point, and I was a lap or two down. And by the end, I was pretty much by myself, didn't have any draft, and I was just, again, I was kind of in that trance. And on the final lap in turn 3, I believe it was, yeah, there was a group that was coming from behind me. I was in the middle of the track, wasn't paying attention, and unfortunately, they did get into me. And yeah, I didn't have an excuse. I just lost focus. By then, I was pretty much a zombie at that point, just brain dead at the wheel, just trying to finish. And unfortunately, that's what happened. So, yeah, I mean, you definitely can pay a pretty big price when
Oh!
you lose focus like that.
Sorry, as we were listening to that, Kevin McCann came down pit road very hot. Not sure if he made that or not. We will see once he gets through his pit stop if they hold him or not.
Well, the good thing for him is that iRacing does actually give you some leeway,
Yes.
just like in real life. If you come in 20, 30 miles an hour too fast, yeah, you're going to be penalized. But if it's 5, shoot, sometimes even 10 miles an hour over, as long as you instantly drop down to the right speed, you're sometimes okay. It's kind of a gamble as to whether or not iRacing actually catches you for that speeding penalty or not, but it's not automatic. It doesn't automatically give you a penalty if you're 1 mile an hour over. There is some leeway there.
Right. Almost like how I drive on the interstate.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, I tell you what, a close call coming
Oh!
off a 2. Yeah, you saw that.
Wow.
Yeah, Dakota Clark is just really nursing his car. He is just trying to get it around. He has no tires, and is just trying to stay up high, save what he has left as much as he can. But man, that almost that caused a big issue there.
As we approach 21 laps to go, I imagine a lot of these drivers would not mind a caution. Kyle Stevens is now your leader as he crosses the start-finish line in that 08. Or Steffens, I'm sorry. Kyle Steffens. Coming down the backstretch, and now Brian McCann goes ahead and passes him for the lead back. No surprise there. Now, I will say, Kevin McCann off that pit stop shaved off about 3 to 4 seconds from his brother's lead. And from here on out, they can go the rest of the way. No cautions. They can bring this the rest of the way home under green.
Yeah, and you know that based on the last pit stops these guys made, you know that Tim Schofield has tires left. Speaking of Tim Schofield, he just announced that there is debris coming off of 2, so we will throw the caution. That's a joke. But yeah, I mean, these guys are absolutely wanting a caution right now. Many of these guys. I think the McCanns are probably, and maybe Neil Quick, are the only ones who don't want a caution.
Ride on board here with Tim Schofield in that number 12 gyro cam. And while these guys, because we don't want to miss the other video we have for you guys, we're going to go ahead and take a short break. And when we return, we'll be bringing you the rest of this race. And of course, if something does happen, we will break in and bring the action to you guys. So we'll be right back after this. And we are back here at Texas Motor Speedway. 13 laps to go. As we see this battle between Mefford and Buzzle.
Yeah, they have been all over each other for several laps now. Some close calls in between. If there's going to be a caution, it might be in between these two guys.
Which is very interesting because I'm not seeing where they're even racing each other for position.
Yeah, I guess not. Just trying to get around as fast as they can without losing anything else. But yeah, there was definitely some close calls there.
Oh, he goes off the track a little bit there. Paul is, yeah, he's really racing Mefford really hard. As we have approached 11 laps to go. And right now, Brian McCann is 5.5 seconds over his brother Kevin McCann, and then Neil Quick behind him and Chris Medford behind him. Chris Medford is just in front of Brian McCann, so he could risk going a lap down here. Oh, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Make sure that you subscribe so that way you get all the notifications when we do go live for any of the series that we do broadcast, because we have fantastic races on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and soon the schedule is going to get even fuller. So I'll leave that there. I was going to let you guys know about another series we're going to be doing, but I'll wait on that one until it's a little bit closer to time.
I'll tell you what, man, I'm scanning the track right now, man. Some of these guys are really testing the waters here. Some very close calls as of late. There could be a late caution with some of the moves these guys are making right now. Definitely some heat, some hot battles still going on.
And that is not something Brian is going to want at all, because if there's anybody that's going to challenge him, in all honesty, Chris Medford, if he can get back up there, it's going to be a battle. As we come to the line with 6 to go. Now, I will say that we do get 2 green-white checkers if we have to go that way. But until this leader takes that white flag, anything can happen. And I mean anything.
Absolutely. You never know.
Kevin McCann has got the gap down to about 5 seconds. Not going to be enough, though. He's going to need much more than that. And then just behind him, we've got Neil Quick and then Chris Medford in 4th, the last car on the lead lap. And then his brother Brandon Medford in 5th, Jesse King in 6th, Colt Cecil in 7th, Kyle Steffens in 8th, Vincent Short in 9th, and Mike Harper rounds out your top 10. But back up front, Brian McCann looking to win number 7 on the season. You know, Alan, I was going to ask you who you thought was going to win the race at the beginning of the race, but
Brian McCann.
Oh, I'm going to need a recount.
I mean, I can honestly say that until he's consistently, out of the top 2 or 3, I would pick him any week. Just going to say it.
Now, I will say, I don't know that I have permission to say the rules, so I'm just going to say that I have heard the rules for Season 3, and let me tell you, it is going to shake things up and be very interesting when we go to those trucks at the IROC Series. It's going to be some of the most unique rule sets that you have ever heard of. And I believe it's going to make the racing even better than what we see here week in and week out. I know Alan doesn't know yet, but after this race, Alan's going to find out.
Yeah, that's super vague, so I have no idea.
I think it's going to be a fantastic addition to the series. And Brian is now coming down to that white flag. So now the next flag is going to end it, which is going to be that checker flag. My question is Medford going to be able to stay on the lead lap, be the last car to finish on the lead lap? Looks like he will, as Brian is back there and just coasting around. I think we're going to start calling the interview the McCann Show. And Brian McCann is your winner here at Texas at the iRacing IROC Series Texas 150. And he does it again, Alan, without hesitation.
Yeah, just pretty much domination. I mean, Kevin McCann, his brother, showed everybody the fastest time in practice and got the pole as well. But man, Brian McCann, he's great at saving tires, and he was up there in a relatively short amount of time and just never really looked back. He just pretty dominant today.
And pretty much every track that he has won at, he has been dominant from the get go. And even when he has had bad days, he still somehow finishes in the top 5. And there's this is a good shot right here. That's great. First and second place. Oh, and then Neil Quick just ruined that one. That's that is funny. So, your winner tonight, Brian McCann. Let's see if we can't get these guys all situated. And I'm looking for Quick. Neil Quick. Oh, there he is. Hey, I almost called you Alan. Hey, Neil, it's Tim and Alan up in the booth. A whole bunch of green flag laps coming home. You started in second. Looks like you finished in third place. Tell us about how your night went.
It kind of was quiet. We just had I just had a fast car and just nothing for the McCanns. Good solid, just making laps, but just couldn't close in on those guys.
Is there anything that you could take away from tonight going forward with the 2 races that we have left that could possibly, I said it before the race that you're a guy that hasn't won a race yet, but you've been there every single week, and you just keep coming closer and closer to that first win.
I think that, the biggest thing I see is that the McCanns continue to progress and get faster, and they're making me faster too. But be really interested to see what happens. I go into Wilkesboro and Darlington. I know Brian likes Darlington a lot, so do I. Got to redeem myself actually after the throwback race. Beat him in the heat race there and just came up a little bit short in the feature. Just had to start back. Got caught up in a mess there. But looking forward to the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fantastic. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you are in. Sorry, I had the points up in front of me. You're third in points right now. So you're from Kevin before tonight's race. You're about 47 points away from Kevin McCann. So still plenty. 2 races left. You could possibly even get up into second place before the season is over.
It'd be a tall order to get up there and get past Kevin, but I'm just gonna give it hell. See what happens, and it's been fun racing with these guys and everybody. Chris sitting behind me and Brandon and Chris Mefford too. Anything can happen. It can go any way. So it'll be fun to see how the last 2 weeks go.
Well, next week, of course, is North Wilkesboro. How do you feel? I know you like Darlington, but how do you feel about North Wilkesboro?
I feel pretty good. I know I'm getting close to one of these wins, and maybe it's coming in the next 2 weeks, and I would not be surprised to see what happens at Wilkesboro.
Well, I'm telling everybody here first, I'm picking Neil Quick for the next 2 races as your race winner. So he's got to win one of them.
I'd like to get both of them, make you look like a hero, bud.
There you go. Well, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, actually, you guys doing a broadcast do a great job. All the sponsors. I know R&R Racewear because that's one of the guys that the company that supports me daily for work. So we'll throw that out there. But everybody, 10-4 Broadcasting, Hydrotech. Really anxious to see what goes on for next season. But all the sponsors that support us and allow us to do this is it's awesome.
I'm telling you, Neil, I'm personally going to run in the mini series. I may even get qualified for season 3, and I'm going to find somebody to replace me. But You guys in this league do a fantastic job week in and week out, respecting each other, giving each other space. Like, it's just whenever you look into an iRacing official server and then you look at races like this, it's just leaps and bounds so much better to watch and so enjoyable for everybody. So, of course, thanks for always putting on a great show.
Thank you. Hope to see you guys next week and put on another show.
We will see you next week. Again, congratulations on third place, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, sir.
So that's, I'm telling you, Alan, he's going to win a race. It's coming. It's there. He finished third tonight.
I believe you. If you want to pick him for the next 2 races, that's fine. I'll stick with Brian, but that's fine.
I knew you were going to say that. But let's go ahead and pull in Kyle McCann here tonight.
Wow.
Second place. Wait, did I say Kyle?
Yes, you did.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know where that came from.
Me neither. I have no idea. You can dock me points, Kevin.
Kevin, I want to apologize on behalf of 10-4 Broadcasting. That's just embarrassing.
It's all good.
I have no idea where my head was. I think I was looking at the leaderboard and trying to talk at the same time. Bad idea. But Kevin, you come home second, right behind your brother. You guys were battling there for a while, and even in after this last pit stop, you were shaving time off, but unfortunately just not enough time to get there.
Yeah, unfortunately I gave up too much time on both of my pit stops. I wasn't comfortable with the brake bias I was running, so I was being a little cautious, so I gave up too much time there. But yeah, I felt like I was reeling them in there on those long runs toward the end. But like you said, just not enough time.
Yeah, and this is the second week in a row that we don't get any cautions. And I think that speaks volumes for all of you guys out there. I mean, we had 21 drivers out on the track tonight and really no incidents. There's only one incident with Cook Quick, but he got it handled, got off the track, and, everybody kept going. So I don't know where I was going with this.
Well, it is impressive because it's a tough track to drive, especially with only 2 sets of tires. That 50-lap stint that everybody had to do was very challenging. So I'm glad everybody kept it on the track.
That's good to know. For some reason, I thought there was 3 sets of tires. I think I got that confused with the race from last night. But yeah, 2 sets of tires. I can see why guys were only taking fuel in their pit stops. So yeah.
Yep.
So next week we head into North Wilkesboro. How do you feel about that, beating your brother there possibly?
Well, I've never driven the track, so I'm not quite sure, but I don't think he has much experience there either, so it might be a pretty even playing field.
Which one of you claims to struggle at short tracks? That's Brian, isn't it?
Right, yeah, that's him.
Okay, might have a little competition there.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I still got to buy the track first.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the last place that Brian said he struggled at short tracks was Richmond, and who ended up winning that?
Oh, you're speaking to him.
Uh,
All 3 heats.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Chris putting on the league, and Neil at R&R Racewear. I got my plaque for winning the All-Star race. It's pretty sweet. Looks awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, that's it. Thank you guys.
Well, congratulations on your second place win, and we will see you next week at North Wilkesboro.
Yep, take care.
You too. Oh, so Alan, are you gonna go with Brian for next week? Or you gonna go with Kevin? That's
Gonna make me think. I think I gotta stick with Brian till they prove me otherwise.
And now the man of the hour, yet again, Brian. You pull off win number 7 on the season, and yet that officially means you've won half of the races on the season because tonight was race number 14, and you've won 7 of those. What were there any challenges that you had tonight?
Yeah, this track was we wasn't racing against each other here. We were racing against this track. This was tough, especially turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, see, luckily, we went green flag for the whole thing, 100 laps. Last week we went a green flag at Talladega, so we've had 2 full green flag races, 2 weeks back to back. Do you think that we could carry that over to North Wilkesboro?
Going back to short track, I don't know.
It's going to be a great race either way, I believe.
Yeah.
And so how are you going to prepare heading into North Wilkesboro?
I'm not going to practice, probably. I've only ran that track twice, but I'm not really a big fan of it, so I'm just going to go with it.
Well, Alan says he's picking you to win next week.
Nah, I don't think that'd be a good pick.
Oh, he says that about every track, and, if he's not dominating the whole race, he stays near the back and then ends up at the front at the right place at the right time. So, either way, I'll take it.
He pulls a Kevin Harvick.
Pretty much.
Well, congratulations again, Brian. This is just going to pat your lead over your brother heading into the final 2 races of the season with North Wilkesboro and Darlington. So, are you going to come back for season 3?
Yeah, in the trucks.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, wife Marissa, guys that put on this show, broadcasting, R&R Raceware, all of our sponsors. Good group of guys. If anybody's listening and wants to get in on it, highly recommend it.
I'm glad you did mention that because we do have, you guys have those 2 mini-series that are going to be taking place after this season is over, because the top 15 guys from this season move on to season 3, and then the top 5 from each of the mini seasons move on to season 3 as well. So it's going to be some awesome racing in those mini seasons to get locked in to this iRacing IROC series, and I believe it's only $10 for the series. If you don't make it in the first series, you can register for the second one and pay another $10, which I think is fantastic for what is going to be season 3 with the trucks. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, the trucks are going to shake it up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, how good are you? Do you like the trucks?
I like them, but I don't think I'm as fast in the trucks as I am in these cars.
Don't let him fool you, Alan. He's still going to win.
There you go, yep.
Well, congratulations on your win again tonight, and we'll see you next week at North Wilkesboro.
All right, thank you. See you.
Thanks, Brian. Well, a lot of talk about next season, Alan. I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, definitely very exciting to see these guys racing in something different. You never know who is, struggling with this car that is much better with the trucks, and then who are we seeing up at the very front who may struggle with the trucks. I mean, you just never truly know. Everybody's driving style is a little different, and a certain series can either, complement your skills or it can hurt, your skills. And so you just never truly know.
Yep, and that's true. I was trying to bring up the race results, but it's decided, I'm pushing the wrong button. That's why. Nope, it's not going to work. Doesn't want to go. Well, we're working with some new overlays, as you guys have seen. We hope you enjoyed them tonight. And once again, huge shout out to our sponsors, Hydrotech, or not our sponsors, the iRacing IROC Series sponsors that bring this show to you guys week in and week out. Hydrotech PC, R&R Raceware, Loud Pedal Gaming, 10-4 Broadcasting, and a huge shout out to, as the other guy said, Chris Wally, putting this on, getting a great group of guys together to be able to run these 100 laps without a caution. I mean, that just leaps and bounds of what is out there in the iRacing community, and hats off to him to being able to put this together. Oh, sorry. I thought you had something to say, Alan. Well, from all of us here at 10-4 Broadcasting, we appreciate you guys stopping by. We'll be back next week, same time, 9 o'clock, where we will be at North Wilkesboro Speedway as we count down to the end of this season before we end Season 2 here at the iRacing IROC Series. Have a great night and a great week, and we will see you next week.